I have a feeling we're gonna find out.
So now, we do find out they have a hive mind, so they are humanoid, but maybe they do have more of like an insect-like component to it. And honestly, insects, if you think about it from a evolutionary standpoint, now I am going to use Hellman, Heinens. He's the guy who actually created the original Starship Troopers book. I'm going to use that philosophy there because Starship Troopers, it would make sense that insects would be far more evolved. Now, in order for insects to get incredibly big like they are in that, it would have to be a highly oxygen-rich environment.
Shit, another nest!
We gotta get a frag in there!
So the cool thing with the nest, just like it did in the previous games, if you can blow it up before they come out, you can stop a lot of them from spawning, and then you can also...
Sniper, on the left!
You can also, kill many of them in a quick shot there, so that way it's not taking as long in the actual engagements.
Throwing frag! Watch that throw!
So right there you can see that little glint was his sniper glint, which more or less looked like a...
Fire in the hole!
Nest is clear.
Which more or less looked like just a solid flashlight. So I'm going to try to keep some grenades on me, and then also be able to take out those drones a little bit easier. But anyway, as it says, insects to me make the most sense of any alien race that's coming to attack us, or that's capable of interstellar travel or anything like that. Like, if it can go into like a chrysalis state and say it just, when it goes through space, it crystallizes. And because it just turns into a goo version of itself, because it's, you know, metamorphosizing and changing into something else, why not? Like, that actually makes a lot of sense to me.
The new or old definition?
From at least
Come on,
a...
let's get to the tram station.
from a like a sci-fi believability standpoint. Now I'd have to clear that with Mrs. Play. She is a biologist, so she would actually be able to shed more light upon that. Not gonna say she's like, no, I'm 100% certain, you know, this is what it would be, because she wasn't.
There we go.
Remember what an insect, like someone who like majors in like just studies insects is. But what also makes this a little bit more compelling of an argument is they're using, they call them drones. Let's say they're serving a hive mind, and she uses drone when she's like, some juveniles become drones in several days or a couple hours. And here we're seeing that happen in a couple moments. Mostly gameplay contrivances. But when we were playing the beginning of the game, we were fighting the robots. They were pretty much mindless drones. There's like maybe one or two commands. The few humans that are there, the ones that can kind of think for themselves. But without them, they would be kind of like orderless. They just follow orders and they keep going. So now it's really fun to see, like, all right, we started fighting one type of drones that we created of our own volition, and now we have these new drones that appear to be monsters. And I think that's a really good juxtaposition going back and forth between the two different styles here. I think it actually is a really good way to describe, you know, what we're coming to compared to what we fought and what we need to be and what needs to be in order to fight this new threat. But I also like the idea that, no, because we're humans and we can think for ourselves, we can be ingenuitive and we can come up with these creative solutions compared to just being like a mindless drone. Because insects, they work very well together. Notice the Myrmidons, even in the Odyssey or in the Iliad. Myrmidons are what Achilles was using.
Watch out for the quills!
And I like the fact that that is what they're made off of ants, so they work very well together. And now this one, what it can do is it will sit here and grab you, and I do have to mash B in order to get it off, but it does expose its glowing weak point, and we can just go ahead and take it right down. And now these two should come right down. So they kind of feel like bullet sponges here, so I'll probably be a little bit quieter, just because I don't find them to be the most fun fights. Alright, so there we go.
Now we have these pouncer things to worry about?
Yeah, the way this night's going, it's only gonna get worse.
I like it. Now we have snatchers and pouncers. Pouncers just jump on you. They look to be the ones that like set the trap, wound you, so that way the snatchers can come through, snatch you into their like vagina mouth trap, and take you away. Weird things I'll never think I'd say in the same sentence.
The longer we wait, the harder that thing's gonna be to track.
All right then, let's see where this leads.
Now I do like this here. So if you don't have that, it doesn't give you that excuse. You get to pull out your pretty epic knife.
I'm never gonna
Now,
get used to that.
for those of you guys who aren't familiar with those back parts on the knife there, the kind of Rambo-esque divots on the back that just kind of make it look really cool, those are actually used to break chains. What they do is on the inside of them, they're very easily filed into blades of their own, so they make those little notches. So what you can do there is you can use the force on those and kind of like you stick the blade through like a chain link fence, you pull it up, and then you would rock it, and it would allow you to cut through that. Also, because it's now serrated, if you're fighting something like vines or going through that, like say you can't get through it and you need to have a little bit more of a saw, you can use it as a makeshift saw in certain situations. Doesn't mean it'll work all the time,
Okay,
but for some spots it does.
Oh shit!
Tram's here.
Yeah, well, as long as it still runs, we should be okay.
Well, there we go. At least the tram's still on the tracks.
Alright.
Oh, come on. Seriously?
Counterweight's dragging. Go. I got this.
And now it also kind of looks like our armor is a little bit sleeker than the previous COG armor that like Marcus wore. Like maybe they did sleek it up a little bit, but it does still feel heavy and bulky, and that's nice. I actually do really enjoy that.
No. I'm sorry I got your dad mixed up in this. If I had any idea,
No, Kate.
any idea that saving my mom and you may be losing...
Hey, we haven't lost anyone yet.
Can't this thing go any faster?
Not with that counterweight dragging.
Huh, counterweight, huh?
Well, yeah, that was twisted like cables that are like used to hold a bridge, like a suspension bridge. That's one of those things that I think is really, really telling of how strong your chainsaws are. Like, you can cut through just about anything with
That was
them.
my first and last time on a funicular.
Funicular, huh?
Funicular. What? It's a word.
Let's just find the snatcher.
See, I
Marcus
don't
said
even
the
know.
locust
Hold on,
barrels
we're gonna
like
do
was
something real
inside
quick.
a
Let's
mall, right?
let's check this, guys.
We're
Let's
following
let's
the
learn
snatchers
something
up
today,
To a
as the kids say.
museum of all places.
Hey, I'm open to suggestions if anyone has a better plan.
Nope.
Not really, no.
All right, then we keep following them.
Funicular of a railroad, especially one on a mountainside, operating by a cable with ascending and descending cars and counterbalance, relating to a rope or its tension. Okay. So if it's a cable car, it's a funicular. That's actually a really good word. Like, that's not something I would have ever thought of. I should look up the etymology and stuff. I'll do that without you guys. I'm not gonna sit here and like be like, let me just nerd out because I like words and I'm an English major and that's just what we do. It's more what linguists do. Let's get another good look at the knife here. So those 3 things on the back, like one you could use it to chop up a few things, or 2 if he like needed to serrate it, or if he was like getting the sinews in there and like using that and like allowing it to bite and then grip, so that way if first say he doesn't want to dull out the other side of his blade that he might have to use for a fight. Alright, let's push through up here. So now we get to see like that's an old cog thing that's sitting there and it looks like a cardboard like fathead stand thing that would probably be like, we want you. See what you would look like next to a cog. Support our troops.
Come on, outside.
Alright, open area, ammo box over there.
Swarm! Okay, here we go.
Boom, took them all right out. So that's gonna be nice and helpful there. And now I like how fighting here, we actually haven't seen anything from Jin yet. We haven't seen any other robots. All we're fighting here are the swarm. Which is a really, like, either she doesn't know where to look, or maybe that they're just pulling in because they're trying to protect their people. Because that is, or very well could be, what is actually going on here, and why we don't see them is, she's like, okay, it's dark, this is when people are getting snatched, we're just investigating on our own to figure out what's going on. So I do like this as an explanation to why maybe we aren't seeing some of the things that we fought before. And now to actually follow Snatcher, what they're doing is the radio is supposed to be like Marcus's, like it's all staticky, and it's just being triggered within there, so that's how we're able to like follow the creature, the Snatcher, from earlier.
Snatcher! Over there by the old barracks!
It's probably headed for the high ground at the fort's keep.
Okay, so that's where we're going.
Again! I thought we were looking for a mine!